Gautam Adani, one of the richest men in the world and chairman of one of the fastest growing businesses in India, has settled the question that many mega entrepreneurs grapple with: succession. Not to be confused with the highly successful OTT series, loosely inspired by Rupert Murdoch's very real succession troubles. After a tumultuous year, during which the Adani Group battled a short seller's attack, the group has emerged stronger than ever. In an exclusive interview to Bloomberg, Mr. Adani seemed to suggest it was a blessing in disguise. Mr. Adani says, and I quote, "This incident brought the family together to work harder and to fight back. Adani Group has had their highest ever performance." So what are Mr. Adani's plans for succession? Mr. Gautam Adani says, and I quote, "Succession is very important for business stability and it must be organic, gradual and very systematic. Succession is not an event but a long-drawn journey. My plan of succession started almost a decade ago and I gradually inducted our G2. All the G2 members of our family were given the best of professional education. They were also trained in the fundamentals of each and every business. They started as interns under our professional CEOs and gradually they evolved into leadership roles. Today, all of them look into different businesses. All four of them are very hardworking and grounded, and they enjoy their work. And most of all, they all are still hungry, which isn't very common among the second-generation entrepreneurs. Who formed the G2? Mr. Gautam Adani, Pranav Adani, Karan Adani, Jeet Adani, and Sagar Adani. Pranav Adani. Mr. Gautam Adani's nephew and the director of Adani Enterprises, Mr. Pranav Adani, is also the managing director of the agro, oil and gas business and spearheads Adani Realty. He is graduated from Boston University and is an alumnus of Harvard Business School. He speaks about the ambitious Dharavi redevelopment project. Mr. Pranav Adani says, and I quote, "It's a project that for the past 4 decades many governments have attempted. We were very competitive while bidding. We bid almost twice the second bidder. What is important to us is what we'll be able to do with the project. Change the lives of almost 1 million people. I can also tell you that it's a project like this that will help us build the legacy for the Adani Group." Karan Adani. Mr. Karan Adani, eldest son of Mr. Gautam Adani, is the managing director of Adani Ports and SEZ Limited. He is a graduate of the prestigious Purdue University in the US. In his interview with Bloomberg, Karan speaks freely about politics, business, and his ambition for the company. Mr. Karan Adani says, and I quote, "We don't have a global ambition. We have an ambition that by 2030 we want to be handling at least 1 billion ton of volume, predominantly coming out of India. Because as India is going to grow, trade is going to grow, and we are in the right position to take on that growth. The second part is to give a reliable supply chain solution to our neighboring countries. Rather than cargoes getting transshipped in Dubai or Singapore, how do we get India to become the center point of the overall supply chain from east to west?" Mr. Jeet Adani. Mr. Jeet Adani is the younger son of Mr. Gautam Adani and is referred to as the new kid on the block. A graduate from the University of Pennsylvania School of Engineering and Applied Sciences, he is now the director of the airports business along with Adani Digital Labs. In his interview, he talks about handling crisis, taking on airports and India's defense requirements. Mr. Jeet Adani says, and I quote, "We are primarily focusing on areas where we think we can make significant impact. Our strategy is focused on 3 things: unmanned aerial vehicles, ground vehicles, and water and submarine vehicles. We delivered our first milestone when we delivered the first drone to the armed forces. We have the capability to manufacture and design all the way from male category to micro robocopters which can be used for agriculture purposes as well. The second focus area is small arms. Based on the requirement of the armed forces, a lot of modernization needs to happen and we are very lucky we have been given the contract to supply them with an indigenization number of 80%. And our target is by the end of the contract, we want to have 200% levels of indigenization, so the entire value capture will happen within India. And the third part of our portfolio is ammunition. We are the only private sector ammunition manufacturer in India. Sagar Adani. Mr. Gautam Adani's younger nephew, Sagar Adani, is credited with building the entire solar and wind portfolio of Adani Green Energy. He is a graduate of the prestigious Brown University in the US. Referred to as the finance man, Sagar speaks freely about the impact of the short seller attack. Mr. Sagar Adani says, and I quote, "From our viewpoint, this report was nothing but an accumulation of everything that was written and alleged over the last 10 years, but also very beautifully gift-wrapped and presented in a way that was explosive and shocking, so to speak. At the end of the day, we are able to deliver our business in a consistent manner. After Hindenburg, we delivered the best results the group has ever delivered. We probably have some of the most diverse institutional shareholding, long-term equity in the portfolio compared to any other global businesses, or certainly most of the businesses domestically. Highly educated, trained, driven, and together, the G2 of the Adani Group and its successors are poised to carry forward Mr. Gautam Adani's legacy."